Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Farsight Intelligence Briefing for November 2021, where we talk about the only war that matters. Now, I've been looking at the comments that have been going on during this live stream, and it's reflecting everything I'm seeing elsewhere. So I want to preface this by saying what I'm about to tell you is really, really, really important. You've really got to get it. You've got to understand it. What I'm seeing in the comments and what I'm hearing all over the news is all about Donald Trump, Joe Biden, the 2020 election being stolen, yes or no, and the vaccine. Yes vaccine, no vaccine. That's all I'm seeing. Let me just say this one thing. Can we please take that entire dialogue about the 2020 election, about Trump, about Biden, about the vaccine, and just put it aside for an hour while I talk to you? There is a war going on, a real live shooting war. It's a real war that's going on, and it's being fought here on Earth primarily by proxies. That's humans that are doing the stuff. The goal has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has nothing to do with Joe Biden. It has nothing to do with the vaccine. It has nothing to do with the 2020 election. Those things are being used to distract you. The goal is to get you to fight among yourselves, to get the anti-vaxxers to fight against the pro-vaxxers, to get the pro-Trumpers fight against the pro-Bidens, to get the 2020 election thing being stolen against the people who said it was fair. It's to fight, fight, fight so that you don't see what's really happening. There's a war. You are being channeled like sheep, like slaves, into a space where you don't see what's going on because you're so consumed with these other things. And what you have to understand is these other things are being manipulated by people you don't even see. That's what I want to talk to you about today. We also are having a little bit of a difference with our intelligence briefing. So all I'm going to be saying today is we're going to be starting a new form of intelligence briefing where there's a theme oriented. Now you saw that the graphic, the thumbnail for the intelligence briefing is different today, and it's going to be different every month. In addition, we're going to be taking these intelligence briefings. They always go up in the recorded, perfect, edited version in farsightprime.com the next day. But we're going to be taking it down during YouTube at the end of this and then putting up a 5-minute clip of the beginning of this so that people can get a taste of what is in the intelligence briefing while they're in YouTube, just 5-6 minutes, and then they can go over to farsightprime.com to see the rest of it if they want. So this is really important. I just want you to say it's okay to be anti-vax. It's okay to be pro-vax. It's okay to be pro-Trump. It's okay to be anti-Trump. It's okay to be pro-Biden. It's okay to be anti-Biden. It's okay to think the 2020 election was stolen. It's okay to think that it was not stolen. It doesn't matter. All I'm asking is please take that entire baggage of argumentation that we have got among ourselves and put it aside for 1 hour. Only 1 hour. If you want to continue to argue over that stuff after the hour, that's fine. But for 1 hour, let's talk about something different. Something that's really going on. Something that is really, really, really going on. And you have to be able to see it in order to see how you are being manipulated. How you are being manipulated like sheep, like slaves, people that are being controlled. And as long as you don't see what's really happening, they've got you. And as soon as the current problems go away or resolved, something else is going to come out in order to constantly keep you in a state of turmoil. So please just listen. Please listen for just 1 hour. Let me explain the war that's going on. Now, let's begin with the extraterrestrials. That's where this whole war is focused on. You have to understand how big this issue is. The idea of there being extraterrestrials should not be in question by anybody. The whole US government is all broken up into factions, arguing they're actually aligned with different extraterrestrial groups. Now I'll explain the whole thing. But the idea that ETs are there should not be in question. There is 2 basic alignments of the extraterrestrials that I'll be explaining. Now, the first is what we call the Orion and the reptilian it's an alliance, but it's an uneasy alliance. They're sometimes competitors, but for right now on Earth, they're an alliance. And those are very repressive species. They're the ones that are organizing all of the fighting that you're getting yourselves into. Now, there's another side that is organized, that is basically, we call them the Galactic Federation of Worlds. That's another side. They've got their own rules, and they're really strict rules. Militarily, around Earth, the Galactic Federation of Worlds is militarily superior. But they have a whole bunch of rules, and I'll explain it. Just let me, I'm sort of summarizing things now so I can get to the details later. They could actually beat the reptilians and the Orion combined forces on Earth. They could do it. The trouble is, Earth would be a wasteland after that. If they fight into open combat, then the reptilians and the Orions will come out, and they'll just battle everybody, and Earth will be a cinder. It won't be a place we can live any longer. So the problem is, how do you fight this war on the planet when you can't have open conflict like that? That's what's going on. Now let me explain. Take a look at this very brief video. The US Navy is responsible for this video, and it's primarily responsible for the entire collection of 140 unexplained UFO cases that they reported to Congress back in, I think it was June, or on June 25th of this year. And the US Navy, from what we can gather, clearly seems to be aligned with the Galactic Federation of Worlds that wants this open stuff. The US Air Force seems to be in the opposite direction. The US Air Force, Area 51, that type of thing, they're actually working closely with and aligned with the reptilians and the Orion group. I'll explain all of this in more detail as the intelligence briefing goes on. But take a look at this video real quick.
Dude, that is a fucking drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. Oh, got it! Woohoo!
Okay, so that was brief. Now, listen. That was put out by the United States Navy. Now, the United States Navy seems to be as active as they possibly can at getting this information out. They have got the US government, the whole government, to at least say that the UFOs, which they're now calling unidentified aerial phenomena, that they're real, that they're technological, that they're aircraft, and they're also saying that they are not made, they use a level of technology that we do not have, and they are not made by the US, China, or Russia. After that, they're not saying anything, and they say they have no evidence of extraterrestrial whatever, but the point is, they're at least leaving it up to making that part of it ambiguous. If it cannot be craft from the United States, China, or Russia, and they are absolutely correct, and they're stating point blank that they're crafts, they're vehicles, and they're flighting. And if you listen to the pilots, the pilot was saying there was an entire fleet of them. They have tens of thousands of reports. They released 140 of them because of Congress asking them to do that. But the point is, if even one of them is correct, and if you eliminate the US, China, and Russia, then obviously where are these things coming from? They're obviously extraterrestrial, and the military is not authorized to go to that last step. But they've eliminated all other possibilities. Now, again, there are tens of thousands of reports, and we have actually shown a number of videos here that we've done remote viewing projects on, and they're unambiguous. Now, the whole issue here is, if you start with the idea that the extraterrestrials do exist, then you can clearly see that there's a huge effort to suppress that information. Now, the real question you then have to ask is, why? Why is there an effort to suppress the information? The whole idea that we just don't want to rattle humanity, it's a little bit too much for us, we don't know if we can take it, just drop that. That has nothing to do with anything. The reality is there's a war going on, and there's a reason why the secrecy has to be maintained. Okay, now we're going to go into the details so I can explain it.